Welcome to the Magic Mindfulness Podcast, where we sprinkle a little bit of magic into your daily life. I'm your host, Rachel Hupp, and I'm so excited to set out on this mindfulness journey with you. As someone who's experienced the transformative power of mindfulness firsthand, I am here to guide you through the wonders of living a more mindful and joyful life. This podcast is your space for embracing mindfulness and cultivating a deeper connection to yourself and the world around you. Together, let's uncover the magic within and sprinkle a little extra sparkle into your day. Join me as we explore practical tips, inspiring stories, and transformative practices to help you thrive in every aspect of your life. Let's dive in and embrace the magic of mindfulness together. Welcome back to another episode of the Magic Mindfulness Podcast. So before we dive in, let me ask you a question, my friend. Do you ever feel like you are constantly putting everyone else's needs before your own? Because I have been there. And so if you have been there too, don't worry, you are not alone. Here's what I found though. It left me feeling drained. It left me feeling resentful. And I even felt disconnected from my true self. So again, maybe you can relate. So today we're going to be talking about how releasing these people-pleasing tendencies can help you to reclaim your time, energy, and joy. So we'll be exploring this topic of people pleasing and how it can hold us back from living our most authentic and fulfilling lives. We'll be diving into the benefits of releasing these people pleasing patterns, like not being able to say no or apologizing all the time, wanting everybody to like us. Some of those benefits may include, at least what I've experienced in my own life, a deeper sense of self-worth, a deeper connection to myself, better relationships with those around me, and just a deeper sense of alignment with who I am, with my core values and desires. So I'm going to share some practical strategies that have helped me, and I'm hoping they'll help you to set better boundaries, to say no, and to prioritize your own needs. We'll talk about developing a self-care routine. We'll talk about challenging limiting beliefs because we all experience those. And even scary as it can be, embracing discomfort as a sign of growth. Now, we're also going to be diving into this difference between genuine kindness and people pleasing because it can be a really subtle distinction, right? It can be hard to tell. Am I just a really nice person or am I people pleasing? So we'll talk about how to navigate that distinction by staying connected to your core values and connecting to your inner wisdom. Now, throughout this episode, my intention is to offer you guidance, support, and encouragement if you are ready to explore this transformative journey of self-love and self-discovery. So before we dive in, why don't you give yourself a big breath? Just gently let it go. Let's talk a little bit about this goal of releasing those pesky people-pleasing tendencies so that you can start prioritizing your own needs, your desires, and setting healthy boundaries. What would that feel like for you? Can you picture it? Can you imagine it? It's like, at least for me, I imagine it like taking off a heavy backpack that I have been carrying around for way too long. It was just weighing me down. So when we let go of this need to constantly please others, we're able to express ourselves more authentically, more freely. So no more biting your tongue, no more saying yes when you really want to say no. You're able to more clearly communicate, more authentically communicate your thoughts, your feelings, and your needs with a deeper sense of confidence and clarity. And without worrying about whether other people are going to approve or disapprove or this fear of rejection, right? So it's pretty liberating. And I'm not going to lie, it takes practice, it comes with time, but it is such a liberating place to be. So picture this. You wake up in the morning, you feel aligned, you feel energized, you feel deeply connected to your inner wisdom, your inner voice, your highest self. Instead of feeling drained or resentful from constantly putting other people's needs before your own, from saying yes to too many things, from overextending yourself, from wearing yourself out. Instead, you feel this sense of freedom. You feel connected to who you are. You feel it's that sense of authenticity, right? You're able to show up as your full, vibrant self. in your relationships, for yourself, with your life, and in your job, because you are no longer sacrificing or abandoning your own needs to please everybody else around you. But here's the real magic, my friend. As you learn to release these people pleasing tendencies, you'll start to cultivate this deep, unshakable sense of self worth. You will know without a doubt that you are inherently worthy of love, respect, and care just by being you. You don't have to do anything else. Just as you are enough and you are worthy. Now, this strong foundation that we can set of self respect, it can empower us to make choices that align with our highest and greatest good. And from that space, to build relationships that are based on mutual understanding and appreciation. And guess what? By creating these boundaries, by honoring your own needs, you will open up a space for more joy, more fulfillment, and more meaning in your own life. You'll be able to invest your precious time and energy into the people, the hobbies, the activities that truly light you up without guilt or obligation holding you back, because we've all been there before. We said yes to something we didn't really want to. We felt resentful. There was a sense of guilt or obligation. Imagine living your life with intention from a place of authenticity and purpose, knowing that you are honoring your deepest desires and that you're staying true to yourself. So, how can you start releasing these people pleasing patterns and prioritizing your own needs and desires? Well, let's dive in. I'm going to share with you just a few of the strategies and tips that have helped me. And I'm hoping that you'll find something here that resonates with you that you can begin exploring and implementing in your own life. So, the first one I'm going to talk to you about is to practice saying no. Because I don't know about you, but it can be really easy to overcommit. It can be really hard to say no, especially when we want to help people. We care about them, we're kind people, we want to be helpful. But let's be honest, life is full. It's very easy to say yes to too many things and then find ourselves overextended, resentful, tired. So, practice saying no. This is one of the most powerful ways to begin to release these people pleasing tendencies, just to start practice saying no. And I know full well that this can feel challenging at first, especially if you are used to automatically saying yes to every request or invitation. So, my invitation to you is to start small. You can say no to invitations or requests that don't align with your schedule, with your needs, with your desires, with your priorities. This could be as simple as saying no to a social outing when you need some alone time. It could be declining a work project that doesn't resonate with your goals. And again, easier said than done. Sometimes we have more or less say in that, but you can at least bring up the conversation, right? I'm overextended right now. I don't have the capacity to take that on. Now, as you practice saying no, think of it as a muscle. The more you practice, the stronger it gets. You'll start to build this muscle for setting healthy boundaries in your life. And over time, you can actually gradually work up to setting bigger boundaries, to setting healthier boundaries in your relationships and in your work life. I just want to remind you that saying no does not make you a bad person. It doesn't mean you're mean. All it means is that you are honoring your own needs, your values, your priorities. So when you say no to things that don't serve you, you actually create space for the things that truly matter. Now, we talk about this in our yoga practice to an extent, a lot, where we talk about releasing those things that don't serve us in the stage and the season and the life that we're in, creating space for the things that truly do serve us, those things that light us up, that fulfill us. And it's the same thing here with setting healthy boundaries. Now, I'll tell you something that I experienced myself and something many of my clients have experienced as well. It's this need that we have to over-explain or apologize excessively. So don't feel like you have to offer up a lengthy explanation or justification for your choices. I know you're going to feel like you want to, especially at first, but I'm going to be honest with you. A simple, kind, firm no is enough. So I like to invite you to have a few phrases on standby. That really helped me at the beginning. Thank you for the invitation, but I won't be able to make it. Or I really appreciate you thinking of me for this project, but I just don't have the capacity to take it on right now. What if it's something that sounds fun, but you don't know if you have the bandwidth to do it? That sounds like so much fun. Let me take a look at my calendar and I'll get back to you. The power of the pause that gives you time to feel into your body to see how it resonates with you. And if it's something that lights you up, if it's something you're looking forward to, or something you start feeling like you're going to dread or resent, or feel like it's just an obligation that you have to go. So, those are a few of my favorite kind of standby. Again, no is enough. You don't owe anything else. You can just say, thank you for the invitation. I can't make it. Thanks for thinking of me for this project. I don't have the capacity right now. So that's saying no more often. That is really powerful way to create some healthy boundaries and to build this muscle of kind of letting go of some of these people pleasing tendencies. Now, the second strategy or tip that I want to share with you today is to develop a self-care routine. And stick with me here because it might take a minute to see how this relates. Here's the reality. When you develop a consistent self-care routine, it teaches you to prioritize your own needs, to release people pleasing tendencies. When you make time for activities that nourish you in the body, mind, heart, and soul, you send a powerful message not only to yourself, but also to those around you that your well-being matters. So your self-care routine, maybe it includes mindfulness practices like yoga, like meditation, journaling, going for a walk out in the woods, or spending time outside on your lunch break. Maybe it's a hobby that you just really enjoy. Now, it doesn't matter what the specific activities are. It's going to depend on your goals, your needs, your preferences, what lights you up. The key here is to really prioritize these practices, make time for them in your life, and treat them as non-negotiable commitments to yourself. And as you develop your self-care routine, you will start to build a stronger connection to your own needs and desires. This is pretty powerful. You become more attuned to what your body, your mind, your spirit are asking for. And so you're better able to honor those needs in your daily life. I told you I'd bring it back around, right? So this in turn can help you to make choices and set healthy boundaries that align with your authentic self rather than constantly deferring to other people's expectations. All right, so we talked about setting healthy boundaries. We talked about mindfully practicing self-care. Now, something that I've struggled with, and something most of us, I think, struggle with, is these beliefs about our own self-worth. And one of the sneaky ways that I have found that people-pleasing tendencies came up in my own life was through my beliefs about my self-worth. I was tying my sense of worth to what I could do for other people. So I don't know, ask yourself, are you tying your sense of worth to what you do for others? What does that look like? Well, maybe it looks like we find ourselves constantly trying to prove our value through our actions, through our choices. So, one way to release this pattern is to start to notice it, right? Awareness is always first. Start to notice it mindfully with self compassion without judgment. Just notice when you feel like you are tying or connecting your self worth to external factors, factors outside of yourself, like other people's opinions, like your ability to meet other people's needs. When you catch yourself in this belief pattern, notice it with gentle, compassionate awareness and take a moment to pause and remind yourself of this truth. You are inherently worthy just by being you. So you can say it with me. I am inherently worthy just by being me. So again, I want to remind you to approach this process with mindfulness, with self-compassion, because it can really help you to gently observe, notice, become aware, and to release those limiting beliefs instead of getting caught up in self-judgment or criticism. So just practice affirming your inherent worth through statements like, I am worthy of love and respect, regardless of what I do or don't do for others. Or my worth is not determined by others' opinions of me. Now, over time, as you consistently challenge these limiting beliefs and replace them with more empowering truths, you'll start to develop a more unshakable sense of self-worth, and one that comes from within rather than from external validation, from circumstances outside of our own being. And it's really just this neuroplasticity, right? So rewiring these pathways to teach our brain to remind ourselves of our inherent worth. It's always been there, but we lose touch with it, right? All right, let's keep moving. I'm a big fan of setting intentions and priorities because if we don't know what our priorities are, if we don't know what our true values are, if we don't know what's most important to us, then we get pulled in any direction, right? So this is another really powerful way that at least I found to help to release these people-pleasing tendencies. And that's to get really clear on your personal values, on your goals, and on your personal priorities. And again, this comes with time and practice. But what I found is that when you have a strong sense of what matters the most to you, it really does become so much easier to make decisions, to take actions that align with your authentic self, that align with who you are on the deepest level. So take some time to clarify your top values, these guiding principles that you want to orient your life around, and then set some clear intentions and priorities based on those values. What are the goals and experiences that matter the most to you? What do you want to create more of in your life? Because the reality is, we've got this one life. And, not to be a Debbie Downer, but none of us knows how much time we have. How do you want to spend the time that you have here? That's something that I think about a lot. How do I want to spend my days? This is the one time I'm experiencing this day in my life. Am I going to spend it living up to other people's expectations? Or am I going to spend it connecting to who I am and living in a way that feels authentic and aligned for me? So, what are the goals and experiences that matter the most to you? What do you want to create more of in your life? Once you have this clarity, you can start using your values, your intentions, and your priorities as kind of an inner compass to guide your choices, to help guide your actions. So that way, when you're faced with a decision or a request from somebody else, pause, check in, tune in. Does this align with my values and priorities? And you can kind of get out of your head about this a little bit. I mean, it is important to know in your mind what those values and priorities are, but feel into it as well. Does it give you a feeling of excitement? Does it light you up or does it make you feel heavy? Does it pull you down? Ask yourself, does this align with my values and priorities? Because if the answer is no, my friend, that is a clear sign that it may be time to set a boundary or to say no. Now, this is one of the reasons that I offer a monthly intention setting practice in the Zen space. It's my online yoga and mindfulness membership because having a regular practice of getting clear on your priorities and setting aligned intentions has really been a game changer for me. And I just think it's so powerful in helping to guide us for how we move through our day-to-day lives, and especially when it comes to releasing these people-pleasing patterns and living with a deeper sense of authenticity, right? So the next tip that I want to share with you, and this is one that, again, I have learned through personal experience, and it's this concept of embracing discomfort because our nervous system is going to want to keep us safe. Our nervous system is going to want to keep us in the status quo, what we're used to, what we're doing, because it's comfortable with that, right? So as you start this practice of releasing these people-pleasing tendencies and setting healthier boundaries, I just want to let you know to expect some discomfort to arise and to know that that is normal. It's a necessary part of the process. Saying no, speaking up for your own needs, making choices that honor your authentic self, your inner being, your highest self. The reality is it can feel uncomfortable at first, especially if you're not used to it. So my invitation to you is when this discomfort arises, notice it, become aware of it with gentle, compassionate understanding, and Offer yourself an invitation to reframe it as a sign of growth. So just remind yourself that you are stretching beyond your old patterns and comfort zone, and that this is a powerful step towards living with more authenticity and in deeper alignment with who you truly are. You can practice kind of leaning into that discomfort, knowing that it will pass. So, again, I love affirmations. So, just an invitation. You might silently affirm to yourself, I am willing to be uncomfortable in service of my growth and well being. Or, I can handle this discomfort. It's a sign that I'm evolving and becoming more true to myself. And of course, feel free to make up your own. Those are just a couple of ideas for you. But I think that over time, as you consistently embrace discomfort in service of your personal evolution, you'll start to develop a greater capacity for making these bold, authentic choices that really let you live your life as you. The things that once felt scary or impossible will start to feel more doable, and you'll look back and marvel at how far you have come in leaning in to this discomfort and learning to honor your own needs, to set boundaries, and to live with intention. So, we've covered a lot so far, my friend. Let's take a deep breath in and let it go. So, I told you we were going to be talking about the difference between being nice and people pleasing, because I have a feeling that's something you might be wondering. So, one key way to tell the difference between being nice and people pleasing is, again, coming back to your core values, coming back to your sense of self. Check in with yourself. When you have a strong connection to your authentic self and to what truly matters to you, it becomes so much easier to act from this place of genuine kindness rather than compulsive people pleasing. So ask yourself, does saying yes to this request align with my values and priorities? Or am I doing it solely to avoid disappointing someone else? Am I honoring my own needs and boundaries, or am I sacrificing my well being to please others? Tuning into your inner wisdom, your inner voice, your inner knowing, and learning to trust your intuition can really help you to navigate these questions with a deeper sense of clarity. And I just want to remind you that being nice does not mean abandoning yourself. You can still be a kind person and stay true to who you are. True kindness comes from this place of self love, of self respect. When you know who you are and what you stand for, you can extend compassion, you can extend generosity to other people around you without compromising your needs, without compromising your desires. So if you find yourself consistently putting other people's expectations before your own, even when it leaves you feeling depleted or resentful, I know I've been there, I'm sure you have too. That's a red flag, my friend. It's a red flag that you may be stuck in a pattern of people pleasing. So, again, just bringing in some gentle self compassionate awareness, right? Self awareness in a compassionate way. Now, on the other hand, when your acts of kindness come from a genuine place of care and alignment with your values, with your goals, how awesome does that feel, right? You feel this sense of fulfillment. You feel connected, true to who you are. It's authentic. You are coming from a place of inner joy. It lights you up. So the reality is, at least in my own experience, for me, ultimately releasing these people pleasing tendencies was really about learning to trust myself, to know who I was, to know what mattered to me, to know what my own priorities were, so that I was able to honor my authentic self. So, as you strengthen your connection to your core values and develop a deeper sense of self awareness, self understanding, self knowledge, I have a feeling that you will naturally start to align your actions with your truth. And this, my friend, is the path to true kindness, the kind that uplifts others while also nourishing your soul, honoring your soul. All right. As we begin to wrap up our exploration of releasing people-pleasing tendencies, I just want to leave you with a few final thoughts and words of encouragement because we have covered a lot. I hope that this has been a powerful message for you because I know once I started recognizing in my own life how many of my choices were guided by pleasing other people instead of myself, it was really a wake up call, kind of. So, in this episode, we have explored how releasing people pleasing tendencies can help you to prioritize your own needs, your own desires, and to set healthy boundaries, which in turn can lead to a life of greater fulfillment, greater joy, a deeper sense of authenticity and connection to who you are. By practicing saying no, by developing a self care routine, challenging these limiting beliefs about our own self worth, setting these intentions and priorities, knowing what we stand for, and even embracing discomfort as a sign of growth, you really can break free from this pattern of constantly putting other people's needs and expectations before your own. And again, I just want to remind you that true kindness, true compassion start within. They start with honoring and nurturing yourself. Now, as you strengthen your connection to your core values, as you learn to trust your inner wisdom, you will naturally align your actions with your truth, creating space for more meaningful relationships, experiences, and pursuits that light you up from within. I want to invite you to embrace this journey of self discovery and self love, knowing that by showing up authentically and honoring your own needs, you're not only transforming your own life, but you're also inspiring others to do the same. You have got this, my friend, and I am cheering you on every step of the way. Now, as we wrap up this episode, I do want to leave you with one key takeaway. Releasing people pleasing tendencies and prioritizing your own needs is a truly powerful act of self love and self respect. It's about honoring your authentic self and creating a life that truly resonates with your deepest values and desires. So, if you are feeling inspired to start this journey, but if you're not quite sure where to begin, I have a very special gift for you, my friend. Now, in the show notes, you'll find a link to download my free core value clarity worksheet. This is a really powerful tool that can help you to gain clarity on who you are, what you stand for, and what truly matters the most to you. Because the truth is, many of us are so used to people pleasing that we may have lost touch with our own needs, our own wants, and our own desires. I remember a time in my own life where I just felt completely disconnected from myself. I didn't know what I wanted. I didn't know what brought me joy. I didn't know what path I was on. And so this is really designed to help you to reconnect with your authentic self, to start aligning your choices and your actions with your core values, because you'll have a deeper sense of clarity on what your core values are. So go ahead and click that link if you feel inspired, download the worksheet, and just start exploring what lights you up from within. Let me know how it turns out for you. Feel free to find me on Instagram. I'm at Rachel Hupp Coaching, or just shoot me an email at hello@rachelhupp.com. I would love to know how this helped you to find clarity on your core values, if you feel a deeper connection to your authentic self. I'd love for this to be a two-way conversation. So download the worksheet, check it out, let me know what you think. And just remember that this journey of self-discovery, this journey of learning to prioritize yourself, it's a process. It's okay to take it one step at a time. Trust that as you continue to show up for yourself with compassion, with curiosity, and even with a little bit of courage, you're going to start to create this life that feels deeply fulfilling and true to who you are. All right. Thank you so much for joining me today for another episode of the Magic Mindfulness Podcast and for being a part of this incredible community. I am so grateful for you. Your presence, your commitment to your personal growth are truly inspiring. Remember, my friend, you matter, your needs matter, and you are so worthy of living a life that honors your authentic self. Keep shining your light and know that I am here to support you on this journey. So until next time, take good care of yourself and keep prioritizing your own beautiful soul. I'll see you in the next episode. Thanks so much for tuning into the Magic Mindfulness Podcast. Until next time, remember to trust yourself, trust the universe, and embrace the magic of mindfulness. And if today's episode resonated with you, I invite you to subscribe so you can receive regular doses of inspiration and practical tips for your mindfulness journey. Be sure to share this episode with a friend who could use a sprinkle of magic in their day. And don't forget to like this episode and leave a comment sharing your thoughts and experiences. Your support means the world to me as I continue spreading the magic of mindfulness. Take care, my friend, and I'll see you next time.